जानूस बाय 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 बाय।
फिस्ट करे से कुत्ते को फिस्ट कर कुत्ती के बच्चे को।
हला नहीं कर मामा, हला नहीं कर
तेरा
मामा। आरबीएक्स सब भाजो बाबा भाजो, घर लो यार कल।
पीछे से निकल रहा है हराम की सट कैंप्रो बोटो एकुम्प्रा बोटा। करो ये इसके बाद अभी ये टाइम लगेगा इस मैच में देख लो। 63 बल्ले 10-15 मिनट तो आए।
ਮੰਨੀ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਸਮੋਕ ਹੀ ਸਮੋਕ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਯਾਰ ਮੰਨੀ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਸਮੋਕ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਨਾਈਸ 2-3 ਬੰਦੇ ਖਾ ਗਏ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਭੀ
ऐसे बकवास कर रहा हूँ अगली
तो बिल्कुल जहाँ भी फाइट्स हमें नज़र आ रही है वहाँ पे टीम्स काफ़ी बिल्कुल डिक्रीज हो चुकी हैं। 29 प्लेयर्स सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं, 10 टीम्स रहेंगे जहाँ पे इनवर्कर स्पोर्ट भी कहीं ना कहीं हमें किल फील्ड में नज़र आ रही है। 3 प्लेयर्स हैं, 0 किल्स है प्रेप्सा और विजन यहाँ पे नॉक करेंगे, फ्यूरी को नॉक कर देंगे। तो चल एस टी स्पोर्ट के कॉडेक्स क्रिप्टो भी सर्वाइव करें, लास्ट एंड फाइनल प्लेयर बचे इस टीम के लिए, लास्ट होप रहेंगे जो क्रिप्टो इस टीम के लिए। तो अभी देखते हैं क्या यहाँ पे क्रिप्टो अपनी टीम को बचा पाएंगे, बट जोन भी इनको छू जाएगा। सो कहीं ना कहीं 44 मीटर से जोन इनसे आगे, तो जोन को आई थिंक पकड़ने के लिए इतना मुश्किल नहीं रहेगा। माई सी स्पोर्ट भी अपने किल्स निकाल रही है, कहीं ना कहीं साइलेंटली अपने किल्स निकाल रहे हैं। इनवर्कर स्पोर्ट 2 किल्स कन्फर्म कर जाएगी। और R360 स्पोर्ट की तरफ जाएँ तो वहाँ पे यहाँ पे छोटू डॉन है, बोरो देंगे, ईजी स्प्रे करेंगे, कालमी को नॉक करेंगे। इनवर्कर स्पोर्ट की स्प्रे कर रहे हैं, स्मोक के अंदर से किल्स उठा रहे हैं। तो किल्स उठाने की कोशिश आई थिंक अभी तक जारी है टीम की तरफ से। 8 टीम जल्दी भी सर्वाइव करेंगी, तरह 19 प्लेयर्स हैं। मिस वालों को दिखाते हैं, मिस 10 किल्स हैं, चारों के चारों प्लेयर्स अभी भी अलाइव हैं। सो जिसकी वजह से आई थिंक ये टीम काफ़ी एंड तक सर्वाइव करने के चांसेस रख रही है। और जिक्सी स्यू जोन से एलिमिनेट हो जाएंगे, DLX स्पोर्ट की तरफ जाते हैं, वहाँ पे जिक्सी नॉक हो चुके हैं। लीडर एंड बाय अभी भी अलाइव है। इनवर्कर स्पोर्ट को यहाँ पे ऑलमोस्ट वाइप किया जाएगा बाय दिस टीम। R360 स्पोर्ट फाइनल एंड लास्ट के लिए टीम करेगी। माई सी स्पोर्ट हाई लोकेशन का एडवांटेज रखेंगे बिल्कुल। यहाँ पे इनके पास एक वॉच टावर सा कुछ एरिया है जो कि बिल्कुल गटका के पास होता है। तो अभी बहुत ओपी है, 10 किल्स हो चुके हैं, 7 टीम्स अभी भी सर्वाइव कर रही हैं। जिधर 16 का लाइव है वहाँ पे 7 टीम्स हैं। मैं स्किनी ट्राई कर रहे थे स्पॉट करने की, बट नहीं, नूर के पास से ये गुजर के जाएंगे। 3x क्या इनके नूर के 3x के स्प्रे में आ सकते हैं कि नहीं। लेट्स सी, 10 किल्स इनके पास हैं और अभी देखते हैं 10 किल्स भी हैं, 7 टीम्स सर्वाइव कर रही हैं। जहाँ पे जोन की बात करते हैं, जोन एक बिल्कुल वेस्टर्न तरफ थोड़ा चला गया, ईस्टर्न तरफ मुझे लग रहा था कि जाएगा, बट नहीं, थोड़ा सा लेफ़्ट पे अपना शिफ्ट देगा। और वहाँ पे टीम 22 जो रहती है DX स्पोर्ट, DX ऑफिशियल है, जिधर OES रहेंगे। सॉरी एलिमिनेट हो गए, हैरी भी, मलिक भी, लास्ट एंड फाइनल प्लेयर। OES क्या करते हैं, लेट्स सी। R360 बिल्कुल है जिसके साथ एक साउथर्न और लेफ़्ट तरफ से रोटेशन कर रहे हैं बिल्कुल, बट मे भी यहाँ पे इनको सरप्राइज़ कर सकते हैं OES अगर इनको देख लेंगे, बट यहाँ से देखना काफ़ी मुश्किल लग रहा है मुझे। बट जहाँ पे देखने की बात है वहाँ पे टीम्स हैं जो कि वो काफ़ी अच्छा खेल रहे, लीडर भी हैं। जोन बहुत श्रिंक हो चुकी, 5th जोन चल रही है, 7 टीम्स अभी भी सर्वाइव कर रही हैं, 16 का अलाइव है। तो कंपटीशन काफ़ी टफ है। तो लेट्स सी कौन सी टीम है, कौन सी टीम है जो यहाँ पे चिकन डिनर करती है। 7 टीम्स रहेंगी, 16 का अलाइव है। जोन बिल्कुल एक ऐसा जोन बना है जिस जोन में अंदर कोई प्लेयर भी नहीं है एक्सेप्ट R360 जो कि आ चुके हैं। OES भी बिल्कुल करीब है इनके, और कहीं ना कहीं टीम अचानक से टीम का रश बनेगा क्योंकि जोन हार्ड शिफ्ट काफ़ी सख्त वाला हमारा जोन है। तो लेट्स सी कौन सी टीम है जो यहाँ पे चिकन करती है। DLX स्पोर्ट की बात करें, बाय बाय लीडर, लास्ट 2 प्लेयर विद देयर 5 किल्स। मिस स्पोर्ट इज द ओनली टीम विद देयर ऑल प्लेयर्स अलाइव, बट स्टिल स्किनी नॉक करेंगे यहाँ पे R360 ईजी। और R360 कहीं ना कहीं सरप्राइज़ कर रहे हैं, बैक टू बैक। बनी भी आएंगे, बनी भी नॉक करेंगे, STR स्पोर्ट को बनी नॉक कर देंगे, जो कि कंपाउंड में पूरा का पूरा स्क्वाड STR के आई थिंक ये स्टॉम है और मुझे भी इनका नाम नहीं याद, बट ये टीम भी स्मोक्स में किल्स निकाल रही है। 0 किल्स हैं, बट ये लास्ट सर्कल्स में चांसेस आपके पास हायर हो जाते हैं। मिस स्पोर्ट की बात करें, स्किनी नॉक हो चुके हैं, नूर भी नॉक हो चुके हैं। कॉम्बैट की बात करते हैं, अल्फ़ा भी सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं। सो लेट्स सी कौन सी टीम है जो यहाँ पे चिकन डिनर करती है। स्टिल लास्ट जोन है जहाँ पे 3 टीम्स बचेंगी। मिस वालों का चिकन डिनर की प्रोबेबिलिटीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा है। 12 किल्स हैं, काफ़ी अच्छा खेल रहा है। गाड़ी इनकी ब्लास्ट हो चुकी है, बट आई थिंक जितनी पहला इनका कवर नहीं था, गाड़ी नॉन ब्लास्टेड से, तो इनका कवर बहुत ज़्यादा फैल चुका है। बट यहाँ पे ओ यस सोलो प्लेयर का सर्वाइविंग आई थिंक काफ़ी अमेजिंग है। 1v3 का सिचुएशन, पूरी टीम मिस ओ यस यहाँ पे 1v3 कर पाएंगे, बट स्टिल ओ यस जोन के अंदर मूव करें। मिस वाले यहाँ पे ये ले जाएंगे इजीली विनर विनर चिकन डिनर करेंगे इजीली। क्या बात है यार, क्या बात है। मिस कम बैक 3 किल्स, अल्फा ओपी 3 किल्स, 2 किल्स फॉर स्किनी, नूर 5 किल्स हो रहा है। टीम 13 किल के साथ यहाँ पर चिकन करेंगे। टीम डीएक्स की बात करते हैं, 3 किल्स हैशटैग सेकंड आएगी। एसटीआर स्पोर्ट 1 किल हैशटैग थर्ड। टीम डीएलएक्स की बात करते हैं तो जहाँ पे योजी वारियर के सोलो 3 किल थे, लीडर 1 किल, बाय 1 किल, 5 किल्स एज अ टीम करेंगे। और पोजीशन की बात करें हैशटैग 4 से सिक्योर करेंगे डीबी स्पोर्ट 3 किल्स हैशटैग 5 पेस पी स्पोर्ट जिधर लेज़र ने काफ़ी अच्छा खेला, उम्दा लेज़र 1 4 किल्स, लेज़र 2 3 किल्स, रिफ्लेक्स उमर 0 किल, आदि 2 किल्स है। टीम की बात करें तो 9 किल्स इनफ है, जो कि आपको प्लेस पॉइंट मतलब वगैरह के साथ आप अगर करें तो काफ़ी बन जाते हैं प्लेसमेंट पॉइंट्स और किल पॉइंट्स के साथ। और R360 वहाँ पे R360 को मैंने देखा नहीं, बट यार किल्स ने सरप्राइज़ कर दिया मुझे। 3 किल फॉर छोटू डॉन, 6 किल फॉर इजी, 3 किल फॉर बोरो। तो एज 12 किल्स भाई, 12 किल्स हैशटैग सेकंड, 12 किल्स भाई सर, सोचा नहीं था कि 12 किल्स होंगे। यार बहुत 12 किल्स। इन्वकर हैशटैग 8 2 किल्स, एफपी एसटी स्पोर्ट 3 किल्स हैशटैग 9, स्कॉर्पियन 1 किल हैशटैग 10 और टीम लीडर 2 किल्स हैशटैग 11 आएगी। साथ में टीम जो है 424 किल्स हैशटैग 12, मैवरिक स्पोर्ट 1 किल हैशटैग 13, योलो स्पोर्ट 1 किल हैशटैग 14, FM 0 किल हैशटैग 15 अर्ली एलिमिनेट हो गई थी शायद कहीं ना कहीं तो। और DA स्पोर्ट 0 किल हैशटैग 16, सिन स्पोर्ट 3 किल हैशटैग 17, PMX स्पोर्ट 1 किल हैशटैग 14, B2K स्पोर्ट 1 किल हैशटैग 9। और वहाँ पे टीम RB भी थी जिनके पास 1 किल हैशटैग 21। और ये टीम भाई लोग 4 5 किल हैशटैग 20 और नो फ्री फायर 1 किल हैशटैग 22 सॉरी। चलो जी 4 ओके ये बने 4XR360 के इजी MVP बनेंगे हमारे फर्स्ट मैच के। सेकंड मैच भी होस्ट करते हैं जल्दी।
आदि तुझे कहा भी आ जा यार। लूट छोड़ देता, आ जा तो उसको आराम से ले, 2 बंदे थे। मैं वही उन्होंने पुश किए, मैं क्या करूं। ओके कराने में जो कर लो, ड्रॉप पे है। राइट है, राइट है, राइट, राइट है। कट करो, कट करो। हाँ बच्चों, गाड़ी घुमा रहे।
बहुत आला वो हामिद बहुत आला इन दोनों को फिनिश कर
ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਤੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੰਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਤੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁੱਤਾ ਤੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੂਤ ਸਾਲਿਆ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੂਤ ਸਾਲਿਆ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਲੋੜਾ ਕਰ ਤੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਚੂਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇਰੀ ਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ ਜਾ ਮੋਟਰਸਾਈਕਲ ਤੇਰੀ ਪੁੰਡ ਚ ਵੜਦਾ ਚੱਲ ਏਦਾਂ ਕਰ
गंदे
हाँ बंदे राइट में है तेरी माँ की चूत भौंसड़ी के
मैं रिक्वेस्ट काटी मैं
अच्छा रिक्वेस्ट का
Request की थी मैं।
तेरी माँ चूत दूंगा तेरी माँ दा पुत्ता नाम की तेरा खोती ये होंदे आ स्कॉर्पियन अलीजा स्कॉर्पियन लॉस्ट और वाटर सिटी हुनी एम नूर होरां दी फाइट होके हटी आ बॉय उतर जे पूरा बॉय दे गांड ते गोली बजे डिग जूगा बॉय ए बंदी मुंड ते गोली आ मैं ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਬੰਦੇ ਮੇਲੀ ਮਰ ਗਿਆ ਇਹ ਵਾਲੀ ਬੁੰਡ ਤੇ ਗੋਲੀ ਮਾਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਓਏ ਉਹਨੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਵਾਲੀ ਬੁੰਡ ਤੇ ਗੋਲੀ ਅਭੀ ਦੀ ਮਾਂ ਚੋਤੀ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੈਲੀ ਦੀ ਮਾਂ ਚੋਤੀ ਸਾਰੇ
कैंपर का बच्चा मैं और पे लगा हूँ कुत्ते के बच्चे को। वो आ रही बग्गी सामने दे स्प्रे ओके अभी
because it's never going to be a problem for Madman if Silas remains there.
Were they trying to go for the loot crate? I think they might have been. But it feels like S2G really have kind of shot themselves on the foot. Maybe they were just trying to look to cross more accurately.
There's another loot crate up here as well. It's all happened in the same location. It's out in the water, so you know it's very, very dangerous for any of these teams to even attempt it. So I think right now it's the chicken dinner that's on the cards. Maybe towards the end you have a little bit of a leisurely swim when there's less players in the lobby. Falcons though, they've come in very late to the circle, and Enigma Galaxy, they've already taken up position.
Oh, straight on past, down the hill, hard cover from terrain, but the push comes through. Enigma Galaxy move forwards. Auto Shotty not going to be strong enough. Lord able to get the side swipe, powerful. Back behind the rock, needs to cower behind it. Not really too much to do here other than try and just hold out, hold on for dear life. The flank comes through, there's an off angle from Enigma Galaxy. The pan to add insult to injury as Ralph swings in for the back angle.
Goodness me. Has he been fried? Is he easy over? Who knows in this situation, but he's certainly out of the game. Never Alone tosses the nades over the top. Try to find some damage. It's really good onto Hermodi, though. One more might do the trick. There's another player heading towards that location. This could be very bad.
Oh, good damage. Modi managed to get the heal off there. Never Alone spots it, handles business on the swivel. Ralph now on the back angle. Could have been pivotal there, but didn't slow down the push from Never Alone. Looking to turn this one around. Team Falcons with 3. Nade in hand for Powerful at the back, but one's popped over the top. It will suppress the angle and has the backup for the rest of his team. Up the top of the hill, there's Freak, and Deadeye's guys are starting to chime into the fight as well. Never Alone, finally taken care of. Deadeye's guys handle the back lines, and it is all falling apart for Enigma Galaxy.
They've been ripped to pieces in a fight that they thought would be easy, and now it's all down to Ralph here. Does confirm one, and Lord and Hermodi making the long crawl across. It's Deadeye guys who have their sights focused over towards Vampire Esports, so you know, potentially there's a chance here that Enigma Galaxy gets at least 3 players back up on their feet, but maybe not with Shifu, who is actually moving around the side of the coast here.
I believe S2G might have managed to pick up one of those crates out in the water in the meantime, but you have to think that Deadeye's guys have made this choice consciously. They were ahead of both Enigma Galaxy and Team Falcons in the queue on that western side. They have chosen to stay behind. They have chosen to be at the back of the queue.
Damar, that's a nice long-range shot onto them, and even so, Deadeye's guys were able to make a nasty little bit of damage over to all these teams. It's not been good, and Deadeye's guys have really thrown all of these teams into the cauldron. Starting to boil now here on Sandhawk.
Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Not easy in the cauldron on the northern shore. Alpha 7 making their way to land, and will be able to do so. Rad trying to challenge position potentially. Carrillo trying to shimmy up the cliff and get the UMP out. Close range spray. Asada moves out of the line of fire, but unfortunately, barrel-based fish for the players at the back.
It's easy pickings for Alpha 7, but they are right on the edge at the moment, so they'll have to start to pick their moment to head further in. And surprisingly, Sung and Forest are still going, despite the absolute awful experience they had with 7C. They were able to put an end to their 4-man team there, dropping them down low to just 2. Rex off in the distance, not able to support the rest of his team. Alpha 7 crawled from the waters. What?
Okay. There you go. Alpha 7 managed to get the elimination across the way. In the meantime, I believe S2G have managed to get another crate on Kelsey, the last player standing. 5 eliminations for the team after getting that first squad wipe over in Paradise Resort. They have got a healthy tally and a healthy earning from this game already.
We might not get the chicken dinner, but we will get those match rewards. And honestly, with the amount of money that's been pumped into every single one of these matches, you know, you take that cash where you can. And I fully respect S2G for playing the game they did here. Shifu.
Ooh, close. Auto shotty in hand. Powerful has the UMP, but neither of them going to shoot off rounds aimed at either. Lord is traded off Deadeye's guys, though. Managed to find Enigma Galaxy as Ralph falls as well. Proving to be a little bit tricksy. Aladdin close to Zuxi. Oh, he knows. He knows. Oh, he knows. And he is going to shut it down. Liquid. Genfos at the back. Still crawling in. should try and get a little bit closer here, but the blue zone will tick away. Aladdin repositions as 7C hold out the east side of Hut 10.
That could have been very bad there. Alpha 7 able to shut down Dan 1 Kia. Just came out of the water very, very speedily. Falcons, though, still in this, despite having a rough start towards the end of this game. They're going to have to maybe bring this one back.
Circle finally centers landward, as we will be spared the swimming antics that S2G have been operating under so far. Deadeye Skies, Molotov onto Powerful, eliminates Team Falcons. On that northwestern side there, you can see just picking up the pieces for Deadeye's guys, bring themselves back up to their 3 total players that they have remaining after the res.
Liquid swings past, bops his teammate on the head, you know. Get back in the game. We've got to win this one. Keep your wits about you. Alpha 7, though, swam across. 4 players still alive, John. They have done some absolute magic in terms of survival. Scout, though, 5 eliminations so far, 4, 7C. I think Scout has an idea of where these players are, and Alpha 7 now have to make a long trudge over towards 7C's compound. Great smoke walls. This has been a classic move coming through from Alpha 7 throughout both days of the After Party Showdown.
For the position that Vampire Esports have held, the fact that they have no elims surprises me. I feel like they've been close to conflict for the last 10 minutes or so, but it seems like they just haven't opted to go in for these direct fights. They've been playing quite passively, and now the circle moves towards them on the south side shift.
Well, you remember the northwest side, all the teams who have fought over there have lost 1 or 2 players or are completely out of the game entirely. And they've decided to wait and bide their time, swing down towards the south side after this circle centers up just a little bit. And this is going to work out really well for Vampire Esports.
Nade over towards Alpha 7. Mafioso taken down. Kelsey for S2G manages to get to land. I mean, this is what loot crates can do for you, right? That's what the airdrops are there for. Get that ghillie in, and especially on Sanok, could prove to be absolutely crucial. Mythic moves forwards to Mafioso's position. Scout suppressed on the roofline. And they will have to reposition, push further into Hut 10.
Kelsey spotted by Carrillo. They do not let any gunshots go unanswered. Very much on the swivel now. Kelsey's in an awkward scenario. 21 players left here. 7C still with 4. Unfortunately, Biggitron did take a knock there. But now Vampire Esports starting to spread their arms here in the circle, spread their influence.
The darkness swells, hopefully, for Vampire Esports in Hut 10. Nades still pouring in towards Alpha 7, but 7C, they're moving into the back of the push for Biggitron. Now crunched between Vampire Esports and 7C. Aladdin falls back as there's answers from the barrels of Biggitron. Spray? Maybe? No. Turned around. Shut down. Mythic keeps them alive. Alpha 7 eliminate S2G.
Goodness me, Mythic has been unbelievable with these spray transfers because you know he's waiting for the money transfers back to his bank account, so he has to make them good. There's no way that anyone's getting behind this team with this player with Alpha 7. Stalwart, though, do take down Revo, and they're in a rough scenario at this moment. They're not quite in the zone yet, and it has been absolutely unbelievable that they've been able to get this far in the first place.
Liquid 1 versus 4 on the push against 7C. Repositions, new side of the warehouse. Do 7C know that he's made this position, made this push? Looks like they're still nading on the left stanchion, but in comes Scout. Looks to be the front man. Pushes into the position that they think he's in. He turns around the side. Liquid needs to get a knock or 2 as it is getting suppressed from the sidelines. 7C losing players on the off angle, and Liquid repositions yet again. Aladdin wants to go for the push, but Sarang around the side. Excellently executed, but Madman's down. Can 7C pick up the pieces?
Should be able to get this player back up and moving, considering they're still in the zone. Stalwart, Pika takes down Joker. And Stalwart have been very quiet during this map, but still have 3 players. But it's Scry who goes down. And Alpha 7, how have they got in once again? They just escape death from time to time, but now just Mafioso left alive.
They are the survivors here. 8 eliminations, tying up with 7C on 8 as well. But you're right, it is only Mafioso with so much to do and a long way to run. 7C looking their way. Stalwart as well, putting that lead right down range. And Mafioso trying his best not to eat it for lunch.
Vampires, they know where the shade is from the blue, and you'd expect it to be so. As it moves down towards their position, Stalwart's still ahead of them. They've not had to do too much at all, and they're starting to get some eliminations, 2 so far, but it's that 10K that they're looking for this game.
If Alpha 7 can take down 7C, or, well, I'll stop that sentence right there, because that is going to even up the elimination points. If 7C go down right now, could potentially be a little bit tricky on the tiebreaker for most eliminations, but Stalwart, they're suffering. In comes Vampire, pushing on through. They want the 10K chicken dinner. They want that money. And who can blame them? Champions of the PMWI here at the after-party showdown. And spraying around the corner, Scout can't quite win out the fight against Pika. Pika's just a little bit too on the ball, but Sarang has the bead, has the angle. Scout, potential to get res, but Ravenclaw might have something to say about it.
This is so rough here. It's very, very lucky they were able to get that knock onto Schweppes and delay the fight, but Scout gets taken down. Now just Sarang and Aladdin, but Fluka with the DBS in hand.
What are you going to do against Dubig Shotgun? Pushes on in, no Sarang out of the building. Aladdin down, 1 player left. They know exactly where he is. 7C to fall under the gaze of Vampire Esports, taking the chicken dinner on Sandhawk.
Vampire Esports, they may have been slow in the beginning like a turtle, but towards the end with the DBS, they were showing the shells to 7C. They're out of it, and Vampire Esports will take home the chicken dinner and the 10K for that one. Beautiful stuff overall. You love to see it. They were just seeing the future, man.
Absolutely, and Alpha 7 staying in super late, consolidating their point lead. I mean, it feels like this team, at the moment, nigh on uncatchable on the points totals.
Honestly, I am incredibly surprised how heated it's getting here in the After Party Showdown. Every single team is looking to earn money wherever they can at the moment. S2G as well, you gotta love it from Galsey. He was like, right, no one's picked up on these loot crates. I'm going to grab them myself and get a little money on the side. But Vampire Esports, 7C, India and Thailand going out towards the end. It's a beautiful way to finish that match.
What a game on Sandhawk, but we've got a little bit more for you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break.
Progress is a race that has no end. After every finish line, another challenge awaits. How can we continue to push innovation in a sport at the forefront of technology? This is how. Discover how Aramco and the Aston Martin Formula One team aim to meet Formula One's sustainable fuel targets. Aramco, powered by How.
Vampire Esports, another big win coming out of them today. That's 2 for them, and that's 2 for Team Falcons and 1 for Alpha 7. We could have another day here, a back-to-back day of 3 teams getting themselves 2 wins apiece. Let's take a look at our match rankings brought to you by STC so we can see all the points collected by them, and of course the other teams out there who did participate. And speaking about participating, 7C Esports getting 16 points as well, tying things up.
It was always scary for them at some point. Like, you were talking about one compound in particular, north of Hatton, they had to take to try and stop Alpha 7 from getting involved.
Oh,
but
yes.
They're just full center in the middle and try to get a really good spot.
Sorry, I was still embodying the soul of John Allen there for a moment. Yeah, you're right.
Enjoy
I
the
mean,
spot, yeah.
it's thank you. It's ultimately, yeah. There were moments where 7C could have really kind of held out positions, but yeah, it's crazy in those urban warfare moments where you're trying to move from wall to wall, trying to go from compound to compound, and then with all of but Vampires played it excellently to deal with 7C at the end.
That compound movement was indeed brought to you by 7C.
John Allen. Sorry. Sorry. Continue.
But you were talking about, actually, while we were watching, that 7C making some missteps there, actually, with how they were dealing with Alpha 7, because Scout was on top of the roof before they transitioned in towards a different building, so he was keeping them zoned out, but then when they transitioned, they didn't go directly to the location that you were looking for, Colars.
I suppose. I mean, ultimately, the blue was pushing them. It's difficult to stay where they were, and then they could have potentially been vulnerable had it been kind of a roof-to-roof situation. So not exactly the easiest situation to be in whatsoever.
Yeah, and I do believe also that there's a situation where Alpha 7 do actually win that, right? I think that 7C got a little bit lucky, quote-unquote, because there was Kelsey from S2G that was like took down 2 players from that location. If they go in there as a 4-man, I think there's a clear chance they win that game.
And a cool moment is because Kelsey is trying to salvage some money in this game because SGG gone down so
crates,
early.
yeah.
He's swimming around, getting crates. He comes up on the shoreline, has a ghillie as well as an MG3 during all of that. So, yeah, it was difficult for them to spot him, and then he becomes this proper spoiler for them to try and move up forward.
I wonder what would have happened if he wasn't spoiling, because I think he got a knock and a flush onto at least one member of Alpha 7.
Yeah.
And then it was Mythic that was able to finally finish him off. But one team I did want to talk about here is the team in 4th place, Stalwart Esports. Where have they been today?
To be honest, this entire after party showdown they've been pretty transparent, right? I think they've had a hard time adapting to this kind of lobby, to these type of matches in particular. So yeah, still not quite able to convert a win. I would like to expect at least one win coming out from Stalwart, but they just haven't been able to even get to the late game consistently. They're just very topsy-turvy right now.
Yeah, they've bled out in some of these games. Then they've been kind of crunched down on in some of these games. They've not been able to catch too much of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully in duos they're able to do so as they were leading at the start of the day. Let's take a look at some highlights, though, from this last match. Maybe we will see Kelsey channeling his inner mermaid, swimming from box to box, crate to crate.
Yeah?
I wish we had that on camera. I do have a video of it, though, Max. Don't worry.
Oh, no.
We can post it up on Instagram.
Don't blackmail
Social
me
media.
This blackmail is brought to you by John Allen. But still, I mean, a rough game nonetheless.
He's molding on the sidelines right now. It's brilliant.
One thing I did want to bring up, though, Claris, that I was mentioning before we actually went on air was, 7C, they've had a very rough day today. And I did ask you, do you think 7C got this far in the game because of the zone that was kind of gifted to them?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Harting, once it's moving up there, they're kind of holding in a very spread split. And I think that's really good for the earlier versions of these circles. Obviously, you had one guy over in kind of the dumpster area on the bridge actually holding people out as well. So it's a heavy split. It works out for this.
Yeah.
They did get together when they needed to, which is obviously kind of rule 101 for PUBG Mobile when it comes to these later circles. But again, transitioning through the urban ending is very difficult.
I think if it's any other compound, they could have held it. But Hatton is a relatively big compound. For one whole team, holding all of those angles is a very hard task at hand.
It's not a compound. It's basically a city.
It's a mini city, basically, right?
Yeah.
So and because of that, Vampire could actually enter from the western side. If they actually had a smaller compound, maybe they hold it. But that big of a city, quote unquote, is just too hard to hold on to.
Yeah.
Well, we can see here, though, S2G 1 slot away from getting the full casino, the full slot machine.
The full package.
Considering they had not much going on in the later stages of the game, that's extremely respectable. It shows how much potential there is in the early moments of the game.
And they've been dominating Paradise today. They won it in the duo show match versus R8. They won it here with 4v4 versus R8 again. They are truly the kings of Paradise Resort. So if I'm R8 and I want to get more money, I might avoid it now.
I think when it comes to Paradise, they're doing a good job of controlling the outer walls, looking in on the compound. They're very good at that. If you've got a team that's dropping on the inner building, you're kind of a little bit paralyzed as to where you can move. If you can move into the courtyards of Paradise, that gets sketchy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we actually take a look at our overall rankings, because I'm curious to see who will be sitting number 1. It should still be Alpha 7 with Falcons getting close. And we'll see. Yeah, I mean, that's actually still pretty decent lead, to be fair. And even Vampire with the 2 wins today haven't closed that gap up against the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, right now is the time to see, we're going to be seeing other teams get chicken dinner right now because it's a high contest and no one wants to share their $10,000 at the top.
I mean, at this rate, Alpha 7 is almost guaranteed to break $100,000 at the very end of all of this, once all the prize pool is tallied up, etc., and things like that. So the fact that they've been able to put 70k on the board for first place and still have a lead of, the 36 points that they do, that's nuts here from Alpha 7.
Yeah, with all the extra rewards on top too, right? They might reach 200k, like total plus the first place if they can remain up there. So like 200k in this format, unexpected, but it could happen.
Well, you're talking about 100Ks, you're talking about 200Ks. What about Vampire Esports, who have won 500,000 from the main event and are now sitting on 36? Like, that's 536,000, not including what they get for just being here. And obviously the team intros and the duos. That's a lot of money that they're sitting on.
And $500,000 now, you get that like pocket money. It's fine.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was you talking about this, Max, actually, that Vampire Esports, they went into this event, the second part of the event, right, thinking that if we just do okay here, we all could just buy houses flat out.
Yeah, they said, like, if we win 3-4 games and we do really good in 3-4 matches, like, we get a house pretty much. Like, they got 2.
That's crazy.
Right now, so if they get 2 more, like, they got a house. So, good investment.
What's better than 2 houses? 3
houses.
Yeah. You can see down the list, though, on our rankings. I mean, S2G, $59,000, but in 5th place is insane as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're still going to see another chicken dinner from these guys, right? Unfortunately, I feel like they are taking some early skirmishes, but if they make us a 3 or 4-man crew into the late game and they have a good position, we saw it yesterday on Livik in particular, they are a team that can close off games in really, really strong fashion. So I don't think we're going to see them end with 2 wins. I think we expect a few more. And I'm not going to shave my eyebrows. No.
Oh, okay, well, that's fine. Ultimately, though, still kind of impressed that Big Tron Red Aliens have been able to gather the amount of points that they have without, with almost dodging some of the money in essence for this. But, there's still big money for placement overall moving forwards. It seems like that seems to be their focus currently.
S2G in 5th place when it comes to points, but 2nd place when it comes to earnings. Really well done by them, and obviously whenever S2G do well, we have the Turkish crew next to us, the talent, they're screaming. They are popping off, brought to you by S2G.
Yeah.
Damwon Kia, though, they've been insanely quiet today, unfortunately.
Yeah, a little bit quiet, unfortunately. I think that a few teams that we wanted to see actually pop off have been a little bit quiet. I want to see more from Stalwart in particular. Like, they really struggle. Yeah.
Didn't Damwon Kia have 40k coming into today? Correct me if I'm wrong. But if that is the case, then they're still at 40k. So it's really
I can tell you in a second when
thank you.
Actually take a look at a head-to-head matchup here between the Falcons and I believe, if I remember correctly,
You're stalling for time.
The team, of course, that has done exceptionally well today, Vampires.
That's not
I just sometimes talk really slow.
Okay, cool. Yes.
So one?
Here's Vampire and Team Falcons, 2 of the
That's what I
greatest
said.
teams. As Jason continues to stall for some more time, Max, what have you got to say about this?
They're 2 amazing teams. They're great teams. Brought to you by John Allen, of course.
This entire segment has been brought to you in part by the man himself. But yeah, I think Vampires, we've seen from them here, very, very well done in terms of even the movement into the Hartin area during all of this. Because again, coming in from where they did from kind of south-west with all of the teams congregated around that and it being very open to get into there as well. It was quite impressive.
And seeing for Team Falcons here, they're playing like pretty much every battlegrounds, the edge play. And it's been working great for them so far. They don't really try and play central. They just play the edge. They go to the eliminations. If they still have the numbers in the late game, we saw it early on Livik, they can close off games too. So Falcons, happy to see them actually stepping up on day 2.
No healing attempt in Sandhawk this time around.
Maybe it's due to the fact that the blue zone ticks harder after the 5th zone.
But we're still seeing people try it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, you talked about muscle memory. Teams kind of get into that mindset of like play it out like the way we normally do, and they're not really taking those changes into effect. You've been talking about this graphic being brought to us by John Allen. Actually, it's brought to us by Aramco, one of the sponsors here of this event, making sure this event can be possible, as well as Saudi on top of that. And not to mention Dr. Suleiman Al-Habib.
The man himself.
The man himself. The man, the myth, the legend,
Yeah.
making this event happen for us. You can see we have 1 minute and 10 left to go until we head into our final match with Miramar. Remember, we do have our screenshot, our best moments of the entire event, and you guys can win rewards at home. Make sure you guys are taking screenshots of your favorite moments over on YouTube and Instagram, and tag PMWI Best Shot to win a cool PUBG Mobile statue. If you want information, make sure you go check out our social media to find out about that. But we are heading to the final match of this part of the event. We obviously have the duo show match thereafter. But the question is, Can Alpha 7 pick up a victory and yet again in back-to-back days have only 3 teams winning every match? So on over to our commentators though of John Allen and Blink.
Felt a little bit personally attacked in that last death segment. I don't know what's going on. They're just getting a bit aggy with it.
I think so. To be fair, Kalaris does a really good impression of you, John, to be honest with you. It's very much your likeness.
My name's Kilaris. I've got square buttons and I stand on a box.
I don't know,
What do you
man. It wasn't that good.
Do you think? I think it was perfect. I think it was spot on.
I don't actually sound anything like it. I feel like Kalaris actually does a really good impression of you. I mean, if you ever need to do any voiceover work, you could just hire Kalaris to do it for you. But I don't really think you bring that same talent for doing Kalaris.
Do you not think?
No, I'm really sorry.
Oh, well.
Do you want a basketball fact?
I would love a basketball fact right now.
Okay, so there was an interviewer who went to a high school game in America, and on the first try of sending the basket in, first take by the way, got it in, and then all the people, all the staff at that high school event took him out for dinner, and he had a great time.
And everybody clapped.
And everybody clapped. You can find the video online.
What if I can't?
Well, then, you message me and I direct you in the location. Whoa, okay, Alpha 7. Dear me. I'll direct your focus now to the after party showdown, most eliminations and highest damage. Alpha 7, it's all them all day, every day.
I mean, nothing really stopping them at this stage. What was it, 70k so far in earnings?
Rubbish headshots, though.
Oh, I thought you meant the pictures. I was like, what, you're being so mean for?
No, they're just rubbish at headshots. That's all.
No, I see what you mean there. I do see what you mean. Although, wasn't it an Alpha 7 player at the top?
It was Mythic, but they didn't have all 3 up there, so I'm disappointed.
Oh, okay, that's fair. And they need way more Nadalims than that. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Alpha.
2's like one
sucks.
one less than the top guy. Oh.
Rubbish. Appalling.
Unfortunately, we still have the very charismatic Damar here, 343 meters, which we're all happy about. Unfortunately, A7 are not so happy, but you got to love the smile on Damar. What a cool guy. He was always smiling on stage, as well. He looks like a really sweet guy. I saw him down the player lounge, and he just looked extremely happy. And I think that's how everyone should approach PUBG Mobile.
No, I think great sadness. What do you think?
I think you're wrong.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go hang with Damar now because you are bringing bad vibes to these games here on Miramar.
Good vibes only on Miramar for this game. The last of the main 4-player squad games today. Match number 6. Of course, we still have the duos game later, so make sure you stick around for that. But if you are sticking around for that, you might as well watch in-game. Watch PMWI together in the in-game esports center with your friends to win PMWI special sets. I'm Sean Connery now.
Okay, then. Unbelievable stuff. I like that a lot, yeah. Anyway, if you want to also look good in-game, not quite like Sean Connery, more like Indy. Harrison Ford. Everybody knows that guy looks very dapper. You can also look dapper with a PMWI gun skin and outfit. So those packages for PMWI are on sale for only a limited time, so grab them whilst you can. And you can also win yourself some PMWI treasure chests if you play PUBG Mobile during the PMWI, which you should all be doing. Because right now, these games are getting me fired up, hyped up to play some matches over on Miramar, over on Erangel, even Sandhawk, Karakin, Livik. We've got it all here today over on the After Party Showdown, as well as tomorrow. So make sure you remain tuning in.
I've got a question for you, Blaine.
Okay.
If you had to do an impression of one of the other talent.
Tell me what you really think about me.
Can't be me.
Okay.
Who would it be?
Who would I do an impression?
Yeah. I'll put you on the spot here.
Well, Max, actually, because,
Do you think?
the producer, Addy, who is a beautiful, lovely guy, reminded me that at the start of the day for me, I did a great Max Extreme impression, so I probably would do Max.
That's fair.
Yeah. Common Tapple 2.
Oh. Oh, no. Oh.
Savla.
Oh, I didn't think it could get worse. I didn't think it could get worse.
Com7C Com Sa.
That wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
That was uphill slightly, but to be fair, rock bottom only has upwards trajectories.
Yeah. It's kind of my French is not great, unfortunately.
Tu
Sadly.
ne parles pas français?
Je ne pas parler français. Je parle en français un peu.
Oh. Habla espagnol?
No.
That's still French.
No, Addy, I cannot speak German either.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah, I've got all. I know this is a multi-language stream. Unfortunately, I'll have to keep it to English because it's the only one I can do justice. If I start doing other languages, I will have people shouting at me in Instagram or all over. You know, they'll be very angry.
Oh dear. Madman on the road, cut across by Kato, but Sarang's there for the backup. It's a three-way engagement on the positions here for 7C versus Rad. Looks like no one's really going down just yet. No one quite landing those shots, but Rex cut off from the rest of the squad.
Oh, and also shots taken from Madman. Not happy about this one. The Midi 14 comes into effect with a big result.
Here you go. Here's a fact. Another European language, albeit a dead one. Rex in Latin means king.
Well, good for him. 7C though, Sarang continues to harangue Rad over here. Kaito comes in, there's a nade that comes through. I think both players had the same idea there. First aid kit. I don't think you need it right now, laddie. Maybe later though.
Kaito losing the teammate. 7C managed to get that first elimination bounty as well. A swift 2K. Looking for a little bit more than that as well. They want the squad wipe. Kato goes down. Madman able to find it flush from Sarang. 7C moving as a unit. 2 players left for Rad.
Yeah, looking a lot more confident as we head into the latter half of the day here. You love to see it. There's the earnings on the screen. Alpha 7 firmly at the top with 70k. Ooh. You got the A7 and the 70k in the bank. I know that makes 7 Worlds Gaming happy to see. S2G underneath 159k. I mean, those guys, though, they've kind of been scrounging some money where they can, and I respect it, man. I respect it big time. You know, if you can't take the chicken dinner, take what you can elsewhere.
I mean, S2G, yeah, right. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's what
Big
I said.
Gaming. Yeah, that's what I was, yeah, just
that's what you're saying.
I was emphasizing your point.
Are you also saying that?
Sorry, who are you?
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
They let you in? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they do. I don't know where you've come from.
Apparently I'm a timeless entity. That's what I've been told.
Right, anyway, at the game, 7C moving down. Circle's already hitting. Absolutely, we have to remind you all at home that these games are accelerated. We want the pace of these games to be fast, quick, and action-packed, which is exactly why we're doing this. Teams will have to make their way into the circles pronto. Los Leones on the western side do have Deadeye's guys, and all the teams didn't have a lot of time to loot up, but there is a fair few decent paths of rotation to get into this one. A few of them using the eastern roads. That's R8 who are still making their way down. D77 though, he is a bit far out. He's still in El Azahar. The rest of this team, you know, asking him if he can hurry up just a little bit.
On the back foot, maybe. Hopefully boosters on the cards from Mafioso. They'll need to heal up. Because he's got 1 energy drink there in the pocket. And a little bit of a booster there still on the bar. See? Still in the first phase though, so might need to get a little bit more, and they're still a way out. 3 first aid kits though, they will be absolutely fine. It's still early circles. Western side looking a little bit more open than the east right now, though Enigma Galaxy do have that west road on lock. The closest engagement, I think you can see right in the middle there, just near power grid on the south side, Stalwart and 7C. Very, very close to one another.
Yeah, one of the players there rotating through. Rod's in front of A7. Revo immediately spots this and careens off to the right-hand side. So that drops out for just a second, maybe to take some shots, but decides against it, realizes, you know, they're just in as much trouble as Alpha 7 is right now, trying to get into the zone itself. But we are heading down towards Chumacera right now. Enigma Galaxy rotating dangerously close to Dam 1 Kia. Not actually taking any shots as of yet. I think both these teams concerned with their own well-being, and this is a gentleman's agreement that we shall ride into the zone itself. I take it back. Lord, you are a very naughty man. This is not how this is meant to go down.
That's against the code, unfortunately. But fortunately enough, doesn't actually manage to land too many shots, doesn't really do too much to slow things down, just diverts course slightly. Looks like Rada still on the warpath. I mean, they didn't get the memo that the duos game is next game. They are going to be playing with 2. Sung in a flaming car right now. We'll have to try and regroup. Just keeping himself nice and warm. You know, warming the hands at the fire. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a happy time there. I mean, he will have to get that vehicle soon because it does have a bit of a time limit on it. S2G rocking up to Deadeye's guys. Silas will be tossing a grenade soon. Takes a couple of shots. I'll have to put that pin back in it.
Shifu needs to have an impact from the off angle here. It is outnumbered right now for the Deadeye's guys on their current position. Turulova around the side there, trying to keep this angle suppressed. Beautifully found there. An off angle for Joker at the back there, all the way across the way. Nearly shut down, but still up, still kicking, and still pumping out lead. S2G falter on their push.
5K bounty is still here, John. No team eliminations have come through as of yet. Sadat just drops out and lays Scry low there.
Knock found, actually, over onto Chari, who will have to drop down. I think Vampire Esports weren't too far away from this. Raze knows where Shifu is now. Drops the smoke, stops the push up the ridgeline, seeing him on that angle. A nade over from Silas. Still not quite under the watchful gaze of Shifu. Swings around the side. Repositions the buggy, potentially a little bit of cover there. But are S2G wanted to go for this, or are they disengaging?
Really sparse on loot at the moment. S2G, if you took a quick peek at their meds, you can see right there, bandages, 1 painkiller, 1 energy drink. It's really rough in terms of stims as well as medical supplies. This would be a fight that would be nice to win, just to, you know, steal some equipment off the enemy team. But I think right now, Deadeye's guys are certainly outlasting S2G. Move just a bit further into the zone here so they can keep this fight going for a little bit longer. Circle heads back up towards Picardo. Stalwart, a little bit unhappy with this one though after losing Scry there.
This is this engagement right on the eastern side of the next circle. Raze not quite finding those angles. That was the first airdrop collected. Did you catch who it was? I was focused on the engagement.
I did. Yeah.
Who was it?
I gave him a little golf clap as well. It's Ralph. Picked himself up. A nice little airdrop. That's on the western side of the map. Directly opposed to this engagement here, which is right on the eastern edge. R8 are moving in through the northern side of this engagement. I wonder if we're going to have the back and forth between R8 taking down S2G, S2G taking down R8. Could be amusing, but it looks like R8 are more prioritizing getting into the circle itself here.
Kelsey on the roof. Covered, actually. I think this is a pretty good spot for Kelsey. The way up to the roof is covered by his 2 teammates, meaning that if you push up, you need to deal with Silas, you need to deal with Raze first. Either that, or you just win out those trades hands down. Ooh, potentially able to bobble a little smoke there onto the stairs to push on up. They know Kelsey's up there, but they can't quite get there yet. And it's not going to be super easy to make that push unless you can get a little bit of a squeaky, cheeky play done.
Yeah, they're kind of locked in this fight now, though, with Kelsey on the top side. It's going to be difficult to get him down without completing that fight. You can see already the blue has made its way over to the circle, so it is not waiting around for any of these teams. It is go time. Next circle about to hit and heads down towards Alpha 7. Looking to pack another chicken dinner into that backpack of theirs. And honestly, they're going to need a level 3 at this rate because they have had so many.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be 1 each if they can take this one home. Lovely nade onto Raze. This is what we were talking about before. The openings that need to be found in order to get up towards Kelsey. Silas laid bare, somehow dodging through the hailstorm of bullets. Staying alive for the time being. Hang on a minute. Who's this? Someone else coming into the engagement potentially? No. Shifu does get spotted. Kelsey shooting on down. That's where the bullets were coming from. Now they're looking to try and mount up this pressure. Nades potentially popping out through the windows. Kelsey trying to swerve around the side, and Silas still going out in the open.
I mean, they're not making it easy for Deadeye's guys, I'll tell you that now. Kelsey, though, with the UMP, continues to send Deadeye's guys further down. At some point, Deadeye's guys will have to leave. Kelsey can almost sacrifice himself here for the greater good so that potentially Silas is able to leave.
maybe trying to look for another way, but seems like the only one that's going to work on out. Deadeye's guys really getting slowed down here. Trying to evacuate their location. Kelsey takes a nade, and that is the end of the Castle King at the top of the building. Los Leones must be left now. Silas still alive, but on the northern side and alone for S2G.
Yeah, there's your sacrifice made by Kelsey. Silas drops him the salute. Starts to run away here, but he has locked them down. Stalwart, Pika, top, action. Still in this one. They're only lost Scry earlier on, so 3 players still up here, ready to go. You can see Alpha 7 off in the distance, but they're very central. They'll be waiting this game out. Damar, nice shots down towards Aladdin.
Nicely found. Shots to the back of Scout. Coming in, potentially a third party. I think that might have been R8 potentially chiming in, or maybe even Rod. But 7C suffering heavily right next to Stalwart. That is not the place where you want to take a couple of unfortunate knocks, and that is the end of Stalwart. A nice nade over the top. Oh, it was Vampire Esports who chimed in onto Scout. Look at the number of teams that just got those limbs onto 7C as we tune on in with R8 and Falcons.
Yeah, Bandai got knocked on the approach from Yusuf with a very nice nade here. Falcons only have 2 players, but so far they are sending this 4-man unit back. Yusuf keeps popping down the stairs. They're very low HP, not really having opportunities to heal off. As of yet, you can see Prestige tries to pop the first aid, but it's just too little too late. And now Never Alone, the clutch maestro, hits one.
You can't jump those gaps when Never Alone is on the case. Unfortunately, the blue zone is too much to handle. And R8, with 1 player left, are still going, but they lose that swiftly. Vampire Esports take them down, and now just Yusuf is there. I don't think you can res in this zone. Yusuf just needs to heal, if he can.
Ooh, Vampire Esports and Alpha 7. They've been going at it with the fisticuffs at the moment in these games. Coming off for Kendi, where it was one or the other there to get the chicken dinner. And now they're both inside this circle. It could go either way depending on the next shift. But Nigma Galaxy, they're in already. Revo goes down to Lord.
Excellent find through the doorway. Lord up to the wall. Will be able to get this first aid off. Closes the door. Stops that vision. Nicely opened onto the engagement. Revo smoked out. Mythic wants to try and get his teammate to safety, but you can't make that break. Not yet. Not until you get an off angle. Not until you can suppress the position for Nigma Galaxy.
Hits Revo very hard there with the grenade, and it's unlikely to get their boy back up again. Now Alpha 7 once more down to 3. Nick McGuinness causing huge problems. Vampire Esports have problems of their own though. As down 1 Kia swoop into the compound underneath them on the south side of the circle itself. But they'll have to cross the road, so it's really interesting. There's 3 very good compounds inside this circle. But all depends on this next shift where it goes, especially with the crossroads right here. How do you get across these open zones?
It's brutal. Open ground. A couple of ridges to play around, but the speed at which you can traverse them, super, super low. Rod, try and crash straight on in, and it's all going to be a part of the seams, but finally they stitch it back together. Fortunately, there's an off angle for top, and they will be able to stay in with 3.
That's the kind of response time you want from your teammate. The enemy team falls, and just as that happens, action rolls up, and the buggy is immediately getting you back up on your feet. In this case, you don't get a rest playing with Stalwart. You are constantly in the game.
Fortunately, Stalwart now drawing attention. Vampire Esports sending shots their way. I think that was shots coming through from Bigatron. Really, really far away there. And shots from Alpha 7 as well. Schweppes taken down a peg. Hopefully Vampire Esports can get that one back up. Here's a replay of the crash that came through from Rod. Pika does go down, but it is that angle from top.
Yeah, action was coming in hot there. He had the sirens on and everything. A little bit unfortunate for Vampire Esports. They do push out just a little bit, but now it's time to recoalesce. This is a fantastic shift for them. And down 1 Kia's compound's just about out. It will give them some survival time. Turulov looking to hold on here. Last member of his team for Deadeye's guys, but surrounded by the aliens.
Bigatron with GenForce trying to pop a nade in. A little bit left on that nade, but might do the job. Just a slimmer HP left. But they know where he is now. GenForce pushes up to the vehicle, takes it away. Bandages, only the 1 for Turulov. It's not great.
He's going to be really struggling. Just try and get as many points as possible for himself. Now Alpha 7 will have to deal with the rest of Nigma Galaxy. They're ahead of them here in their rotational path. They're absolutely stacked though. Good smokes. Once again, the train comes through and they're looking to move through the steam here and start somewhat strong for themselves. Molotov out the window will prevent the push up just a little bit, and with the confusion laid bare by the smokes, that was a nice nade. Starts things off strong. A7 heavily injured now.
Bigatron will eliminate the Deadeyes guys, but in goes that push. Carrillo in the corner. Mythic and Mafioso trying to give any sort of support that they can.
Ooh.
Lord takes a little bit of damage from a nade around the side. Carrillo up the stairs. A little bit of respite, a little bit of safety. Trying to blow the doors off the hinges as Ralph goes down first, bringing the numbers even so far. Mafioso, though, is going to get traded off. The flush is good, but Carrillo's there, caught with nade in hand. The push comes through from Momodi, and he's allowed to sneak through the gaps. Only one player now for Alpha 7, and they know where he is. It's Carrillo up the stairs, potentially looking to get this res if the doors are going to keep that cover going, but Carrillo opts instead to pop that Molotov down and give themselves a little bit more cover.
That was an insanely fast molly he brought out. He knew exactly what he had to do in that moment, but he tries to move out the building. But it's BTR. Genforce comes out of nowhere. They've moved upon this position, and Nigma Galaxy are just completely trapped.
But BTR have moved up to this position. They've given ground to Vampire Esports, who have now got the lion's share of this next circle.
I mean, they've been here for such a long time, John. It's been very difficult for them not to take all this space, but they're starting to push out. Ooh. Once again, the cloak of the Vampire starts to envelop the rest of these teams. It's a question of whether they can continue to dominate in the circle. Lord still alive, though.
They're controlling Damwon Kia on the south side of the road. They are moving into position to block out Bigatron. With Genforce down already, they're locked in this engagement. The ridge lines are so bare, so barren for them on this Miramar. And Vampire Esports control the circle. They control the quadrant. They're gonna have another chance to take home another 10K.
This will be beautiful stuff for them. They'll be happy with the money that they've earned. They've got a fair few team eliminations as well, so there's potential for even more cash on the line for them. Beautiful nade from Song, though, from Damwon Kia.
And another.
3 players still going.
Oh, didn't quite find anything else there. The res should be possible over onto Ravenclaw. Song, you imagine, doesn't have too much more in the back pocket in terms of utility. And maybe even then wants to save it.
Oh, dear.
Bigatron regrouping. Zuxi spotted. They will not be able to move forward to more than 3.
They take their chances there as well. I love that from BTR. They hear the third party, instantly wrap around and try and surround them from both teams' side, understanding that Damwon Kia is over towards the south. They'll take the north, and now Vampire Esports are going to have to play out their mind as a 4 to prevent these teams from just starting to crush them between 2 walls of players.
They need to take one of these fights, or certainly win it out as fast as possible. The nades continue to just bobble over the top of the roadside from Damwon Kia. Unfortunately for them, the blue zone is pushing. They will have to move. The smoke wall has been established. They will push through. Frontman Sung looking to try and draw some fire potentially, try and allow those teammates to refrag. Jumping in, trying to gather info. The smoke starts to clear. Vampire Esports have clear reign. Across with the car. Fabian careens across the side. Sung taken down on the first push. Fabian low as well. Should be handled. Now they need to turn their attention to the last player from Damwon Kia. Trying to get across. It's looking hairy. It's looking ropey. And I don't think they're going to be able to do too much more. Forrest finally dealt with. Schweppes did go down in the meantime. What can BTR do?
Really good smokes coming out from Vampire Esports to isolate that fight between them and Damwon Kia.
Big.
Another nade, though, onto Ravenclaw, and now it's 2 versus BTR, but there's 2 down! How does this happen? Just Luxy alive!
Last player going in. Fluketh 1 versus 1 against Luxy from BTR. One of the longest standing members on this roster. Made the name for Bigatron. They've been dodging the money all day, all tournament at this after-party showdown. Is now the time that they take that 10K. A nade pours in over the top. The reses are coming through, and they are denied yet again. Vampire Esports take the 10.
Quick on the swivel, quick on the game, and quick on the decisions coming through from Vampire Esports in those final moments. It was very, very difficult. You know, it felt one of those stressful situations where you're in an escape room, you see both the walls start to close, and you have to figure out a solution in that moment. And you know, Stoned, the rest of the team, they had a solution in the back pocket. They've trained for this exact moment.
certainly did. I mean, it worked out incredibly well. We know what sort of strength they have in these engagements. We talked about it so much. We've praised them so many times. But we've got an American, a Frenchman, and a Yorkshireman to talk about the match standings. Brought to you by STC.
I was wondering if I was the Frenchman there, and then I realized we have Max, and I also realized I have no ability to do accents whatsoever. But anyways, Vampire Esports to take the third win, 30,000 bucks on the day just from chicken dinners alone, 23 points as well, helping close that gap right behind Alpha 7. But Bigatron, that was the first time we've seen them really show up so far yet today, Max.
I'm a little bit offended you forgot about me for a second there, Jason, but hey, no, still here, not going anywhere, not especially my eyebrows. But yeah, Vampire able to get himself the win here, good to see on their side. And yeah, back-to-back coming into this one, I believe the first back-to-back we had, even though a lot of teams actually got 2 wins yesterday. So yeah, Vampire, they're here to play, they're here to take the wins and get themselves a big portion of that prize pool.
Yeah, nobody wants to share these wins, which I think is kind of cool to see, to be honest, with the effective dominance of some of these big teams up at the top, being able to consistently assert themselves well with the positions that they're taking here. And Vampire Esports, once again, does so well. And it also shows, at the very end of this game, the importance of keeping even just a little bit of utility here or there, because being able to get those nice arcs on those nades and being able to shut down a 1v1 almost instantaneously against a potentially deadly threat in Luxie is very important.
You had very predictable lines of sight, right, that were going to come out from the other side. So if you do not have that nade, I think that he could have picked up the 1v2 pretty easily because you knew exactly where they're going to peek from.
And I think he had the better equipment because Luxie had an AUG.
True.
Going up against that gun is a laser. So I don't really want to take a 1v1 against that, to be honest.
Yeah, I've been learning quite well not to take 1v1s pretty much against anyone because I'm terrible at PUBG Mobile. But still, I mean, it was at least great to see Bigatron step up. The funny thing was we're watching the match in our room, and we have the Indonesian talent room next to us who are 5 minutes ahead of us because we're on a little bit of a delay. And we hear them scream, and they're like, oh, I guess Bigatron's doing well. I guess they're going to be at the end of the game. But yeah, in the end, like, they still weren't able to close things out. And I don't remember where they actually stand when it comes to the match awards ranking. But I feel like they're one of the lower teams.
They indeed are, yes. They were kind of very middle ground in terms of overall placements, but it was pushing them up enough to kind of negate where the overall rewards from money came along, but they still were very low. So this will give them a little bit of a boost, I guess, for all of this. And I like some of the transitions that they were doing. Although that being said, they're not on there. So maybe the next page, question mark.
Star Wars still taking money every time. Even though they didn't get the wins, they still bring in some money every single game. So they still clearly have a game plan in mind, even though it's not like chicken dinner oriented. They still get some money, right? So you can't really argue with that one too much.
Yeah. But I feel like that domination we saw in the first week out of Star Wars has just completely disappeared.
Yeah,
where have they gone?
We were expecting like some pretty major changes, right? Because main tournament compared to the after party show now, everything is different, right? So not too surprised. But one thing that has remained consistent though is the fact that Vampire dominate not only the rankings but also these extra prizes, the game awards and eliminations. 20 teams eliminated too. I mean, yeah, I mean 500k was not enough for them.
Yeah, and you know what? They might come out winning this event as well. I mean, you think about PMG down the line, Vampire Esports are definitely putting a bullseye on their back for all the teams to come for.
Especially since we saw Alpha 7 put their head above the parapet so far here when it comes to the lead as a whole. But yeah, Vampire is really bringing the fight back to them with another 23 points on the board. I'm looking forward to the overalls.
I mean, they were looking at buying a house potentially. I think you can buy way more than a house as how much they want here. Like, they're going to get a whole mansion. Okay?
They could buy us a house.
I'll accept it. Thank you.
I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, James, you have a house.
Yeah, true. But that's a big catch-up.
I'm more of a Mustard fan myself, to be honest, but 27 points, Vampire Esports are behind Alpha 7. We're only down by 12,000 bucks. So we did have S2G up quite heavily when it came to money. They're actually in second place still when it comes to just the earnings alone. But obviously the prize pool at the very end, determined by your ranking or placing, still is quite a big factor.
Yeah, S2G really struggling to convert chicken dinners, mostly due to the fact that they're taking a lot of early mid-game fights, right? They lose a player here and there, and then late game, if you don't have the full squad, then you're going to struggle because you've got Alpha 7, you've got Vampire still there as a 4-man squad. Damn one, if you're one of the games where they're popping off, they're still alive. So S2G need to maybe rework the early stage to make sure they can get a chance for those wins.
Damwon's still alive in a lot of these end circles, but because they're not getting the chicken dinner conversion off the back of it, and they're not really being flashy up towards it as well, they're not getting first eliminations, they're not getting most team eliminations, etc., and things like that. They're really not moving in terms of much money whatsoever. So actually, for Damwon, it's been quite a little bit of a fall off here throughout the day, considering they were nicely in second place.
I feel like we kind of expected that, at least when it comes to earnings, right? Damwon don't really have a playstyle that allows them to get up these big rewards. They're not usually getting the first eliminations or the most amount of squad wipes. Exactly. They're a team more about winning and getting to those late zones. So it's kind of reflected in that.
I would also say, like, there's been a major change of like aggressiveness in general from yesterday to today. I think teams like, you know, you're looking at Rad, you're looking at R8, 7C, the DAS guys a little bit too at some time. Like, they see, okay, we're not getting a lot of money, right? That is the goal of this tournament. It's not like the main tournament, you're going to get 500k. No, that's not the case. Here, you want to be extra aggressive. And I think that is hurting the side of Damwon a little bit more. There's like very positional focus, right?
Sure.
And teams are willing to contest that a lot more, so they use players and then chicken dinners. They don't really come your way as often.
Yeah, or you catch circle, and you've got a nice spot to play with. But it's not happened here throughout the day, really, for them, to be honest, so it's difficult.
Okay, well, we do have a minute and 20 left. Remember, that was our last when it comes to squads. We're going to be heading over to duos in our show match here.
That's right. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Obviously, we saw Starwatt not have the best of starts in the duos today, but yesterday was great for them. Keen to see what's going to happen here. It's Livik, right?
It is.
It is.
Thank you very much for reminding us all at home. Livik with duos would be extremely exciting, but we can't get to that until I tell you about STC, about Spotify, and of course about Razer, who are all sponsors here of PMWI, but also not just PMWI, G8, which has been an event that's been going on for 5 weeks with multiple different titles, but we know they save the best for last. And speaking of saving the best for last, that's why we got John and Blank here to bring you all the action here in our final match of the day.
2 players per team, 1 map, 1 more to play today. Thank you very much, Jason. We're going to be throwing it back to the best for last later on after this game, as we do head back to the desk afterwards. So very well said. Thank you very much.
What about Jason comes in here all hype, having a great time, and then you pick up with the most chillest little throw to the game, which is fair play, because we're heading over to Livik. It's duos. You want these teams and these players to be chilled out. You know, they've got to have their wits about them. They've got to be cool, collected coming into Livik, because this is a map where you really, really do have to be on a swivel. You have to be swinging on a dime if you want to make sure that you want to live to the end and earn that dime of the match rewards for the duos. The best duo.
But all we hear is Radio Livik. Radio Crabgrass.
All right. I like that a lot.
I thought of that. I needed to say it. I've said it now. We can move on.
Well, let's kill the radio star and get right back to the video, because we're here in game. Keep your eyes peeled on this screen, because you're about to watch it pop off here on Livik. Revo's out. He sent it. Look how fast this guy is in the parachute. I swear this guy's got rocket-propelled boots on at the same time, which is going to take off when he hits land. You know, it's not quite the same as ice skates on Karakin. Doesn't help you as much, in my opinion.
He's moving like Martin in the pool. I don't know if you saw Martin swim the other day. Yeah, it's like a seal.
Like a seal?
Yeah, cuts through the water. Nimble, agile.
Yeah, he is like a motorboat. He's fast. He's speedy.
No, that's 7.
What, 7?
Don't know what all the bubbles are behind him, but he goes quickly.
He does. That is true. You know, I feel like he's cheating somehow, but we're not sure. I do see him eating a lot of that cabbage in the hotel dinner, though, so I might be having something to do with it, but I'm not too sure. Anyway, straight back over to Livik. We get our first circle, heads down towards power plant. Already got Damwon Kia over here with that big shotgun that we have seen them use before. The DBS comes in clutch for them. I think that, you know, they've practically stuck around power plant for the majority of this time. R8, though, here over at this beautiful place in the map with a waterfall in the background. It's happy days overall, and it'll be even happier days if you participate in the PMWI Watch Together with us. We love that you are hanging out with us here on the English stream or any of the other streams as well. Just make sure you are watching together with us in-game over at that esports center with your friends if you want. You know, get as many people involved as possible, and you could win some of those coveted PMWI special sets.
And if you want a gun skin or an outfit, then you know what? You're in luck, because PMWI packages are on sale for a limited time. And you can also win PMWI treasure crates if you play PUBG Mobile during PMWI.
That's right, and only one more day to do that, so get cracking, get a move on, get in game, grab those chicken dinners, absolutely dominate the competition, or just play and get taken down early like this. It doesn't matter, just as long as you're in the game. Powerful already down to Revo. Alpha 7 not looking to lose their top spot in either of these things, either in the duos or over on the match reward and earnings in the main tournament of the After Party Showdown.
Bad news bears for Team Falcons. Still one player to go though, Yusuf, trucking along. Will be solo from now on in. There's the M1014 on the back of Carrillo, the auto shotgun replacement. I mean, it's still the big shotgun, but it isn't quite the same.
The long shotgun. That's the one.
Sure. Fluketh with one of his own shotguns in hand, chasing R8 Escaton up the stairs, nade down the bottom of the staircase, drops down himself as well, tries to evade the damage and maybe giving Vampire the old slip, but the spray with the UMP will give the game away. Ravenclaw around the side, Scar in hand, player up the top as well, P90 as well there, around the door frame, good for one. Escaton needs to be aware that there's a player dropped out and he'll find the bullets hitting the back. Prestige in the meantime got dealt with, I don't know who by, but chased back up and he's given them the old ropey dope. Ooh. It's R8.
Okay then, Escaton, the grenade sails over the top of his head, but R8 will anchor the run here for Vampire Esports in the show match right at the beginning of the game. We're down to 11 teams already, but Stalwart, they picked up the scent. They smell the action over off in the distance, not the action on their team. They don't spend much time sniffing him, but he's definitely doing the work for them.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, look, I had to clarify, you know.
You bad man.
Look, I clarified. Stalwart, you know, they know where the action is at all times. I need to get away from saying action alongside with Stalwart because that player causes problems for me.
Tell you what else causes problems is Escaton. I mean, this was fast. This was good movement coming through from Escaton. You love to see it. I like this push back because he'd been running around in circles the whole time. He completely caught Vampire Esports off guard, right, on that push back. It's the first time he'd done it, and at a crucial time.
Yeah, I mean, he checks his fitness watch. He's done his 10,000 steps for the day. He was up and down those stairs like a shot. So, you know, I'd hope for him and Prestige, you know, they chill out for a little bit now. They are towards the center, so they don't have to do too much more walking in these final moments of day 2 for the After Party Showdown. We are again here in the show match. Just to remind you, we're playing duos at the moment to figure out just who is the deadliest duo of them all here in the After Party Showdown. There is money on the line as well for these teams for the points at the top. We'll figure all that out tomorrow in our final show match on day 3.
We've got to get some of these thumb socks.
We do.
I keep feeling so jealous of all of these players when I see those thumb socks on.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've got those slippy fingers. Sometimes I'll go for a spray and whoop, I'm over just looking 180 degrees behind me. It's very unfortunate. But that does sometimes cause massive surprise to the enemy team. They're unsure whether to take shots at me or not because they're like, is this guy AFK? Do I take shots? Is this allowed?
Nobody
Is
knows.
it ethical? And then whip, I'm around like a shot, and I find the team wipe. It is my classic move when I play here on Livic.
Oh no, I am just a helpless little player.
That's right. You've seen me in game.
Blast him.
I like to deceive the opponents.
That's right. Throw them for a loop.
That's for sure. And deceiving, misdirection. That's what it's all about here for the magicians of Alpha 7, who have been doing some incredible work today. And I've said multiple times where, you know, there's no chance that Alpha 7's getting back into the circle. I look back round again, it's Houdini staring me in the eyes as Alpha 7's found their way into the circle and found some damage onto the enemy teams. Down one Kia, though, in power plant, stamping the mark here.
I beg your pardon. Down one here, just spraying it down like it ain't no thing. Kelsey takes the knee, takes the L, not down fully just yet, but Silas quite a way away from it to regroup. Really can't be going for this wide of a split when you know there's players this close, unless you know you're going for that full engage. Silas hopping around, trying to back it up, but you've got to expect he's going solo from now on.
I think for Damwon Kia here in Power Plant, they really do have to bring the energy from the midst of the turbines, because honestly, you know, there are so many angles you can take around here. You have to full commit to this position. Silas has moved in here because he has no choice, really. He's got to hide. He's got to remain tucked away so no other teams can find him. I don't think Damwon Kia is even aware of his presence. Kelsey has gone down, though, so he is all on his lonesome.
There's a Scar and a shotgun on the back.
That
Fairly
long
decent.
shotgun.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right, man.
That's right. Good in these close range engagements. I mean, you're looking at level 3 helmet, level 3 vest, so still a force to be reckoned with is our Silas here. We've seen him do so much work in general S2G. Still a long way to go, though. Still with 11 teams in it. Vampire Esports, the only team to take both the Ls so far, going down to R8.
I mean, Silas, you know, a veteran on a lot of these Turkish teams, going way back towards Class Digital Athletics and even before that as well. And even there, he was popping off all the time. It's nice to see him finding some good success here on S2G. And he's surrounded by pretty damn good teammates actually as well. So that is, it's very fun for me to watch. And check back in with players that maybe I don't commentate all the time. BTR, on the other hand, you know, we definitely have a very, very fond relationship with this team, considering, you know, they were around right when we started.
You're not Santa. What are you doing, Joker?
Yeah, that's not okay. And I don't think you're going to be gifting anything out other than a nade in the mouth, which no one wants. And honestly, look, it's not okay to be in that chimney because I'm pretty sure you're now stuck. I've decided it.
Well, you're certainly not allowed to get out of there.
It's been decreed.
And even if he is Santa, he hasn't given me any presents.
Exactly.
So what's going on?
Maybe
sort it out.
Maybe that's why he's the Joker, you know. He comes in with a jest, says he's Santa, rips off the outfit, he's wearing a jester outfit underneath. You get a bag of coals, you go on your way. But Deadeye's guys, they want a few more points, honestly, here in the duos. I've been actually quite impressed with Deadeye's guys. I think Chari's had some good moments, and you know, it's nice to see on top coming through into Deadeye's guys. Has done some fantastic work over in the South Asia region.
Seems like 7C and Rada having quite a few clashes, quite a few conflicts in these last couple of matches, and that will continue as Scout takes down a player for himself, bags the point, pops it into the bank.
Everyone was not happy with Scout, other than everyone at home, including us.
Everyone disliked this.
About that scouting play. Insane shots, though. You know, he made it happen. Took Stalwart completely by surprise. Maybe looking to do similar here, but it's Alpha 7 with the ghillie suit in the grass.
Ooh.
That's going to be one sneaky fellow.
Oh, I don't think it's going to last too long here. Last player for Stalwart. Bang, bang. He's out of it. Out of the park. Enigma Galaxy picking up the point. 2 eliminations for Enigma Galaxy. Hamodi and Lord will keep on going. Stalwart, not so lucky.
Picks up the loot there instantly. That's a John type of play.
What the hell, man?
Slurping up the loot.
Can't believe you do this to me.
Not letting anyone else get involved.
Look, I really need a 3x.
That is fair play, honestly.
Dude, you just don't understand.
3 elims here, though, for R8. Really, really well done. You know, they're still going. They've got a slight split going on at the moment. Just looking out towards their south. Now they're going to have to start to pay some attention up towards this northwest side. BTR will also have to move. Damwon Kia, they've not moved a muscle. Looking at their fitness watch, on the other hand, there are 0 steps. So, I mean, maybe they need to get a move on. Just a touch. But honestly, for them, sitting here all day long works out.
Certainly would. But how else are you going to burn off the chicken dinner, you know?
Maybe they don't have to. You just enjoy that chicken dinner.
That is true. I mean, I've got the metabolism that I've had for so far my whole life.
Yeah,
it's still going quite well for me.
You have a metabolism of a raging furnace. I'm not sure. Like, the food goes in, and then it disappears. So I don't know how you make that happen for
It's
me.
fueling this giga brain of mine.
Fueling the giga brain. I will agree with that. That is fair play. I don't have the same luxuries, unfortunately, but I do enjoy myself a nice chicken dinner from time to time. Silas, though, drops around the side. The long shotgun working out fantastically. There is another big gun over that side for BTR, but Silas immediately disengage.
Pulls it back, pops the nade. Luxy not going to be able to get teammate back up, and low HP there. You have to wonder, does he have the meds? Okay, yep, did manage to get that first aid off. M to 4-9 back in hand. Instead pops the nade in. Might be good if Silas stays where he is.
It's one long barrel against the next. See who comes out on top. Next circle shift down towards power plant. Damwon Kia absolutely laughing right now. This has worked out fantastically in their favor. Again, not really able to take too many shots up towards the little cliff sides that run around this area, the ridges. But for them, as long as teams keep coming towards them, they get the onus on these fights. BTR does go down, though.
Unfortunate blank. You know what? I'm going to say it. There's no way that Alpha 7 get into this circle.
You don't say it. They'll prove you wrong. They've
Well,
done it before. They'll do it again.
That's what I was hoping for. That's what I was hoping for.
It's all right. Maybe that's the key. We have to doubt them. We must be the sad doubters here on the desk, so that A7 may succeed.
Oh, you doubting Thomas, you.
That's me.
That's us. Doubting Thomases.
Falcons are still going. Yusuf with the ghillie. Pretty good loadout as well. Unfortunately, just the adrenaline and the first aid. Molotov to his side.
Just chilling. Doesn't even move. That's going to make him move.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, dear. Nade around the side. Don't those guys try and cross. They're like, oh, loot, loot, loot. Shut down immediately. Hamodi cuts it. A little bit short. Joker is out of the chimney into the frying pan.
Which is not something you get to say very often. Alpha 7, though, dropping the smokes, trying to make their way across the road. Start to make the long run. Carrillo moves across. Joker might have seen him here. It is Enigma Galaxy out inside the balloon. Carrillo drops some heavy shots towards him. Does make it in.
Those guys finally going down outside the zone. Hamodi still alive. Alpha 7 are there. They have had a little bit of a truck from the blue. Hamodi with a broadside at the back if Silas wants to peek it. But no, it's Damwon Gaming. The arbiters of power plant.
Damwon Kia, though, will now have to start making a move here. Pull on the trainers. Start to walk just a little bit. Alpha 7.
There's no way they make it.
There's no way they make it. In fact, they're in a pretty good spot to make it. They will start to have to make the wrap, but it's SK Tom with a dinner plate, ready to serve up some fresh, hot eliminations over towards A7 if they can make their way round. Revo, the M4, though, very good for long-range sprays. SK Tom drops to the deck. Will go prone.
Silas has been alive for a very long time. To be fair, the circles have allowed him to keep on going, but finally Damwon Kia removed the thorn from side. And we'll keep it on going. Revo peeks out. SK Tom wants those shots. Immediately takes the drop, but Revo knocked out in the open, crawls across in cover. Carrillo is looking for the res, but in goes Prestige. They don't want to allow Alpha 7 to get in any further. The shotgun in hand, the res not there. Molotov around the side to potentially stop that push. Over the top, it will stop. And over the high ground, Carrillo tries to send it. Low HP, needs to find a knock. Prestige is low, but it will be enough. R8 stay in it, and it's 2 versus 2 now, Blank.
The amount of stims in this man's body as well just kept him running for that last moment. Basically, the heart beating on adrenaline alone. Prestige, though, starts to move up, has hit himself with that first aid kit, but now Damwon Kia. They've been very leisurely, and they're looking for a leisurely win, too. Both M4s here. SK Ton still with the DP. All right, looking to finish strong here on this map.
Slowing things down for the time being. Currently ground, I would say, mostly controlled by R8. That's a really solid Molotov to move SK Ton off position. Could allow Damwon Kian some openings, some positioning. The utility, though, that Damwon Kia still have, phenomenal. They've held inside power plant this whole time. This is the first time they've had to leave. And now they're pulling the pins. Forrest tries to shut Prestige down.
Oh, no.
Chomps down on an aid, and R8
The Saudi Arabian team try to shut it out, and it's Damwon Kia to get cut out. R8 take the duo.
And when we talked about that dinner plate there, and they did serve up some fresh hot eliminations, but also, as a side dish, a chicken dinner as well. So very, very well done for R8. At the end of the day here in our final show match of day 2. And R8 finish out strong. SK-Ton, Prestige, they're a deadly duo.
Home turf, seemingly. Great for R8 in these duo matches. We'll see what that does to their standings as well. I mean, as you say, what a way to end the day for them. Hopefully carry that over to tomorrow. Earn a little bit more money, potentially, in the main after-party showdown.
I mean, they've only got a little bit of time. One more show match to try and bump up those rankings. And we'll see who's at the top when we head to the desk very, very shortly here.
Yeah, we are going pretty quickly over to the desk with the match rankings, sponsored by STC.
Speaking of heading to the desk, look who's here. It is the desk. Jason Kaplan, Maxman, and Kalaris to break this one down. Vampire Esports, that's not right. This one's right. R8 Esports for the team that took the chicken dinner. 18 points for themselves to potentially climb up the leaderboard and get one step closer towards the, what was it, Stalwart. I actually was in first before earlier on. Damwon Kia, though, again, hasn't really shown too much today. Unfortunately, Alpha 7 trying to get momentum from their matches today. Oh no, not a bad game, and great to see R8 have a great start, or great finish.
And very important for the duos, right, to be consistently on the top, because the $15,000 are spread only like towards like top 4, right, if I'm not mistaken. So you want to be in those top positions consistently, which R8 has not been able to do so far, but they gave themselves a win. So if they can replicate that tomorrow, they might be able to just barely push themselves in the top 4.
Yeah, potentially. I felt like for today, where was R8, man? Like,
Wishy-washy.
We've really not seen too much of them, but this is a great little step up for them in the duos. Damwon Kia as well, getting themselves yet another top finish. They're just so adept at being able to wiggle their way on through and find themselves a good old spot.
that was a very good spot, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good that they just got naded in it, but yeah, it's pretty decent.
I still do wonder, though, Damwon Kia, we haven't really seen them rise up to the ranks that we've seen in PMGC, that we saw in week 1. But again, there still is one day to go, still a lot of money to win for all these teams out there. And Team Falcons, unfortunately, 1 point coming through for them after getting 2 chicken dinners on the day. At the same time, the question is, Vampire, not even on the top 8. They won 3 chicken dinners. Maybe they're just tired. Maybe they're like, I'm tired of winning. We'll let someone else do it.
It's fine. I think they're allowed to have like a little bit of a breathe on. It's the duos, right? I think that is definitely not their main focus. Their focus is getting the big bucks and the big games and the show in the after party showdown. So yeah, I'll give it to them. It's allowed, permitted.
Yeah. And of all the games that we had, once again, I mean, we're seeing a lot of hardships throughout the past couple of days, but this one was, we're going east, we're going west, we're going east. It was really rough to try and accommodate to the moving around for this one, but, you know, R8 playing it nicely. I think one of the most important moments for them really was kind of holding out Alpha 7 from the north, because if they don't hold that position, hold them out for that period of time, then they potentially get sandwiched by Alpha 7 as well as Damwon, and that's a death sentence.
And as a point made earlier, right, it's very important to hold on to that utility until the very end.
Yeah.
That utility made it so much easier for R8 to not having to take the conflict versus Damwon. If so, Damwon, we know how good they can be in those closing moments. It could have been going a little bit all over the place. So holding on to utility, it seems like teams are learning that a little bit as we go on.
Maybe this is some pressure off of R8's shoulders, considering they haven't had the greatest performance so far in the after-party showdown. They're playing in front of a home crowd. We got to hear the cheers as well.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what they need to unlock themselves and unleash themselves into tomorrow.
I mean, this is the thing, right? When you saw them as they got the win there, didn't look super excited about the whole notion, right? I think that they realized that today's not been the easiest of days for them. Getting a win under your belt here is great. You will be able to bump up, but yeah, beyond that, difficult.
Let's go here for our winners of the day. Sertani with Vampire Esports.
Where we are joined by Sertani from Vampire Esports, the coach, no less. Now, Sertani, I have to say, 3 chicken dinners, 38 eliminations today. What an incredible performance by your team. I wanted to ask you, the talk of the town backstage has been match rewards. What match rewards have you been focusing on for these past 2 days?
I think for second weeks, we just focus for playing for fun first. Also, we can make the good team around the world just like the first week. So I think this just like the biggest scream for us. And also, we just only focus on the chicken dinner because we can gain a lot more than the other one, you know. Yeah, just like that.
مرة ثانية رجعنا لكم من جديد في المسرح أعزائي المشاهدين والحضور مع الكوتش حق فريق ستار اي سبورتس أو فامباير اي سبورتس. زي ما احنا عارفين بعد ما فازوا على الفريق الخصم في الأسبوع الماضي وقدروا ياخذون الكاس حق بي ام دبليو اي. السؤال الأول اللي كنا بنسألهم إياه بنقول لهم إيش رأيكم في اللي قاعد يصير من ناحية أدائكم في المباريات؟ إيش الشيء اللي تركزون عليه أكثر شيء من ناحية اللعب حقكم؟ الجواب حق الكوتش كان بيتكلم على نقطة إنه أكثر شيء احنا نركز عليه هو التشيكن دينر. زي ما احنا عارفين إنه يقدرون يجيبون أكبر قدر ممكن من الجائزة فيه، والبلاي ستايل هذا حقهم يمشي مع الطريقة اللي هم يلعبون فيها.
Well, you won last week's main tournament and you are now currently sitting in second place going into the final day of the after-party showdown. So I just wanted to know, did you prepare a lot in all of the new maps between week 1 and week 2? Or is your confidence in your team just so good that they're playing this consistent?
About the map plays, the Jesselie, Ilangel, and Miramar, and the Sunhawk that we played before. So okay, that's map really familiar for us. But also the weekend Karakin or just another map, they are not have a time to scrim or practice much. But I think it's about the experience of the player before they play on the ranked game. Just before they came here, they just like playing for fun, finding some bad position, and just skill, just like that.
السؤال الثاني كنا نتكلم مع اللاعب عن ايش الشيء اللي يخليهم دائما يكونون كونسيستنت ويخليهم دائما مستمرين في نفس الاداء في اثناء البطوله، يعني من بدايتها الى نهايتها. لانه زي ما احنا عارفين فازوا الاسبوع الماضي والان هم في التوب 2 معنا في البطوله، فكان الجواب على انهم متركزين على انهم يقدرون انهم يسكرمون قد ما يقدرون، والسكريمز اللي هم يلعبونها والتدريبات اللي يلعبونها يحرصون انها تكون على نفس البلاي ستايل حقهم. لكن اذا جو يلعبون قبل البطوله يكون اللعب حقهم شوي ممتع وشوي فور فن ويختلف عن اللعب اللي ممكن يلعبونه في العاده.
Sertani, let's look to the future. Let's look to tomorrow, the final day, okay? What are you planning on changing to make sure that you get those chicken dinners and maybe even another PMWI trophy?
For tomorrow, we just focus on playing on the same timing like this. Because for now, I think the player confidence and the momentum just came to us. You just see the circle just come to us today. So I think tomorrow we just focus on what we have to play, the confidential, aggressive style, just like that we do before. And also we want to win the second week again. Thank you.
زي ما احنا عارفين غدا ان شاء الله بيكون هو اخر يوم معنا في بطوله الافتر بارتي شو داون. حبينا نسال الكوتش انه ايش الشيء اللي انتم تستمرون تسوونه عشان تقدرون تضمنون انكم تفوزون في البطوله. الجواب كان بكل بساطه انه احنا الان عندنا مومنتوم مره عالي وبنفس الوقت الثقه اللي موجوده عندنا جدا عاليه، فودنا اننا نستمر على نفس الطريقه عشان نقدر انه في نهايه الاسبوع هذا ايضا انه يكون هذا الثاني تروفي نقدر ناخذه من بطوله PMWI.
Sertani, congratulations to you and your team for a very successful day too. We wish you all the best of luck going into the final day of the PMWI, but also the after-party showdown. Please, everyone in the Gamers 8 Arena, give it up one more time for Vampire Esports.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to head back over to the desk to round out the day. See you in a bit, guys.
شكرا لكم اعزائنا المشاهدين والحضور. خلونا على طول نروح استديو تحليل نتكلم عن كل الست مباريات اللي شاهدناها اليوم، ايش ممكن نتوقع من مباريات بكره، فعلى طول على الاستديو.
All right, well done. Great to hear from Sertani yet again. Maybe he has the desk blessing and they can take themselves a big win yet again tomorrow because they've been looking fantastic today. 3 chicken dinners. Unbelievable out of this team. You know what? It's great to see a team be able to compete against Alpha 7, though. Yeah, they're still a little bit behind in points, but it's great to see that it's not going to be Alpha 7 running away with it.
Yeah, and it's even more insane when you think about it, that the fact that they might be able to win 2 international major events in a row, back-to-back, like that. True. And it like, because they were not a team that I had like on my list of potentially winning the main tournament. They won it, and it's clearly not just like a one-hit-and-run like kind of deal situation. Like, they actually have a plan, and they really stick to it to get the win.
And it's even more impressive because it's not like Alpha 7 even slowed down today from yesterday either. They're still number 1. They still had a nice lead. They were still gaining a lot of points across these games. So very, very impressive by, I think, Alpha 7, but as you say, Vampires to be able to catch up, try and compete, and trying to push on tomorrow, which will be close. I think it's going to be close tomorrow.
Yeah, and I hope it too be. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Vampire, we're talking a lot about Alpha 7, but Team Falcons as well. As
मिलता लेकिन बंदे बहुत आते हैं। तुझे मैंने शुरू में कहा नहीं था जब मैं लाइनअप में आया था, मैं तुझे बोला था कि मिलता जाया करेंगे, तूने कहा था नहीं फजूल जगह, वो तो फिर बहुत ही फजूल जगह मिलता। और मिलता सिंपल सी जगह है, वो तो फिर बहुत ही
तू जितना बोल रहा है ना उतने दिल भी कर लो। ये ब्रा, हेलो, आवाज आ रही है?
Bring up voice chat.
कोई भी नहीं उतरा यार मिलता। जो ड्रॉप मैं लूँ वहाँ कोई नहीं उतरता क्यों?
Excellent work.
वे ललवा, वे फ्रंकी M4 नहीं, मुझे M4 मिल गई।
यार तेरा लकी है।
तो पूछा नहीं है फिलहाल, तू चुप हो जा। तो वही तो है, तू कभी तो बात नहीं कर रहा मुझसे। ला 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 ला। क्या कह रहा है यार तुझे यार?
Watch out! Watch out! Marked a location. Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
किधर है बंदे वे? वे
Excellent work.
हो गया। आजा आगे चल आजा।
एक ही रह गया मेरे ख्याल से।
Watch
घर पे
out!
बंदा ओए
कैसा बंदा आओ आओ
बंदा इधर ही गया था ना, इधर ही गया।
I got supplies.
नहीं नहीं है ओए, इधर आओ, नीचे गया था, नीचे उतरा था। यहाँ
Watch
गया
out!
होगा। अबे है बंदा, मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ बंदा। नॉक फिनिश खाने से तो अच्छा साथ आ जाओ।
Form up on me.
तो आखिरी कहाँ गया बंदा? नहीं मारा। तेरे कितने किल है?
मेरा 0 है, मेरा 0 है।
हाँ तो मेरे 2
और
हैं,
तूने
एक रहता है बंदा।
वो ये रहा बंदा, ये रहा आगे ही है, मेरे साथ ही आ गया।
बोला है ना। फ्रैंक ये निकला
तो
कहाँ
चुप
से
ही हो जा।
यार? फ्रैंक ही मार गया।
फ्रैंकी बेचारा लानत हो गई यार। फ्रैंकी तो ये क्या बोल रहा है ब्रा यार। तूने नहीं मारा अकेला चेस, तो तू क्या देगा हमें बेटा?
फ्रैंकी
वो तो
थोड़ा
बहुत वे मुझे एमपी का मत है, मेरे पास सिर्फ 7x1 है बस।
I got supplies. I got supplies.
टाइम आउट कर रहा है। 8 ही एमओ है मेरे पास एमपी की, मार करूंगा। अच्छा बात सुन, हुए मुझे एमपी का एमओ बताओ। मेरे पास एमपी का एमओ बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। 10 बोला मेरे पास सिर्फ 8 है।
मेरे पास।
Excellent work.
नहीं बाइक खड़ा है इधर एक।
ब्रा वे ब्रा 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 मेरी बात सुन। उसकी हरकतें देख जोकर की। फाइन उसे फाइन मिली थी, वो भी लीव कर दी उसने, पट्टा करके आ गया। वो पागल इंसान है, यकीन मान, हर किसी हर लाइनअप से पट्टा कर करके आ रहा है। तो ये उस दिन एफएस पता नहीं कौन सी लाइनअप से खेल रहा था, ये बड़ी अच्छी से लाइनअप मिली थी स्पॉन्सर सैलरी बेस। वो उसका ना एफएस आराम आया, उससे पट्टा कर लिया, वो टीम छोड़ दी। बीएचएल एक्स बी2डब्ल्यू वालों से खेलने लगा, वहाँ पे पट्टा करके आ गया। और फाइम वाले साथ खेला, फाइम वाले साथ पट्टा करी। मैं तो बोलता हूँ दो नॉक पुश खेलता है, 2 नॉक करके पुश। वो पीछे वो गाड़ी खड़ी
Watch
है,
out!
पीछे गाड़ी भी खड़ी है। अबे वैसे नोवो आएगा यार, मेरे ब्रिज पे चले साथ आ जा। बगी खड़ी हुई उधर,
किधर जाए?
उधर बगी है, वो उधर बगी खड़ी हुई है। चल तू जाके उठाना। हाँ वहां से तो बग्गी उठा ले पीछे से फ्री। मेरी एमएस
चलो चलो चलो
जा।
उस घर पे आना, बड़े घर पे डबल स्टोरी पे आना।
यार एमएस मेरी सही हो जा, बाकी सब खा रहा है।
Watch out!
उन्होंने नेट किए उसके ऊपर तू गया।
वेट कर वे।
नेट किए उसके ऊपर।
कुत्ते फ्री साले अपने नेट से मुझे मार दिया।
इब्रा तू फजूल का मरा है।
इब्राहिम यार मोली तो मैंने की थी।
मैंने मौली की ही नहीं थी।
मैंने की थी।
I got supplies. I got supplies. I got supplies.
यार इब्रा तो लूट तो ले ले यार, बहुत माल पड़ा है यार इधर।
I got supplies. I got supplies.
इब्रा
3x नहीं पड़ा 3x।
3 अभी तो फेंका मैंने। नहीं तो मैंने अभी फेंका ना 3x। असल इसका तो बंदे के साथ हुआ। मैंने ऐसी ब्रश मारा एमपी का, मुझे 2 हेड पड़े, बॉडी बड़ी नॉक हो गया तो बहुत अच्छा मार गया।
हाँ जब बंदे ज्यादा होल्ड करते हैं कोई जगह।
आ रहा यहाँ पे भी 3x पड़ा है।
बस
मैंने
आखिरी बंदा बड़ी मुश्किलों से मारे ऊपर। मेरा वो मैसेज आ गया था नेट से जो मारते हैं टीममेट। फोन कौन से आ जाता। कोई एंगल नहीं मिलते।
इस वाले घर पे चलते हैं, इसके नॉक करके